Let us look at the morph transition. The morph transition is available on the transition tab, and it says that you have to create a duplicate slide, move some things around, and then finally apply the morph transition. Let's see how we work with it. We will do the same example that we did in the previous lecture, where our square is moving from the left edge to the right edge. We will duplicate the slide. We will manually move it towards the right. And then on the second slide, which means the duplicated slide, we want to apply the morph effect. And you notice that the animation is automatically applied. Now, please remember, if you click on the animation pane, it would not show anything, which means that even though we have created an animation, it doesn't use the same logic that an animation does, which also means that you can't control the flow, the speed, things like that. You have simply stated that it is moving from point A to point B, and that is exactly what will happen. You don't get any further options. But we can do a few things. So if I remove, or let's say I reduce the size and change the color and also rotate it, you would notice that when a user comes from the first slide to the next one, the color is changing, the rotation is happening, the size is decreasing, and the movement is also happening. Very cool, right? Now, this also means you could have done this with multiple objects. So let me again create a few of these. So let's say we have 3 of these squares. We make a duplicate slide. And on the duplicated slide, we are moving them around. So for example, this one comes in the center. We are increasing the size. This one comes on top. And then this one comes here. And we are also increasing the size a little bit like this. And also changing the color perhaps. When we apply the morph transition, we get a transition that looks like this. Very cool, right? Very cool, very simple to work with. Let's do a more advanced example. So we have taken a smart art, we have ungrouped it. I've already done it a few times. Now we want them to rotate. So right click, duplicate slide, and on the second slide, we will rotate it. This is clockwise, this is anti-clockwise, and this is clockwise once again. The moment we apply the morph transition, the rotation happens on its own. Now, please remember, we will not be able to control the speed because the morph transition doesn't give us that level of control. If you want that, in that case, you will have to choose a regular animation. Let's do one final example to show you how the morph transition can be used to move from one position on a map to a different position. So we will duplicate the map, and like we had done earlier in the previous section, we will click on picture format, crop, crop to shape, and then we will crop this into a circle. So you notice that my entire copy has now become a circle. We will click on crop once again. We reduce the area of our selection. So in this case, we only want to choose the India-China region. So we will make sure it's a perfect circle, and that looks like this. When we place the second object on top of the first one, it looks completely blended, so nobody knows that there is a second image here. And why are we doing this? We can duplicate the slide, and on the second image, or rather the second slide, we will choose the original image and then recolor it to black and white. The image that we had cropped can be increased in size. We can add a picture effect as well. And then finally, we will duplicate the second slide into a third one. And on this one, we wanted to move from India, China all the way to United States. How do we do this? We will right click and crop. So basically we are recropping the image. We move the map to select the United States region. And now we can move it to United States. And now we apply a morph transition to both slide number 2 and 3. And the final effect that we get will look like this. So this is our first map, and when we click on the next button, the original map grays out and the selected area is highlighted. and it is colored. When we go from the second to the third slide, then it actually moves on the map all the way from India, China to United States. So I hope you can see how nice this looks. And we can create this very clean animation directly on PowerPoint by using the morph transition.